Welcome back. And today we are going to continue on the Bible in 6 months. Today we are day 66 and we are continuing pushing this train. So, without a further ado, let's go ahead and get right. So, if you forgot what happened last time, we are in the middle of Job is speaking to his three friends. And his three friends is trying to counsel him on what he should do and what he should not do. And Job is just like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to just talk to God. If I die, I die. But he's just trying to figure out, like, he's trying to speak to God. And the three people are trying to counsel him. So this is the second round. And this is what Zophar is talking to Job about. So here's first response. This is why my unsettling thoughts compel me to answer, because I am upset. I have heard a rebuke that insults me, and my understanding makes me reply. So in other words, he's saying that he feels like he's being assaulted and feels like he has understanding on the situation. And he is trying to give him advice on what he should do, because I guess he has some wisdom in the area that he is experiencing. And then he talks about the joy of the wicked has been brief, and the happiness of the godless has lasted only a moment. Though his arrogance reaches heavens and his head touches the clouds. So he's talking about non-believers, and or not. Well, the second part of verse 5 is talking about non-believers. Like the happiness of the godless has lasted only a moment, and then he's talking about the joy of the wicked has been brief. So he's referring to the people who are doing like evil intentions, people who are just doing whatever they want, type of stuff. And they saying that their joy is only but briefly. It doesn't last long. And especially and also for the people of the godless. So and then he continues on. He's talking about how fleeting the wicked or the godless people are, and how that they are like say that they are getting a lot of attention or that they everything good happens to them, but it doesn't. Like when they disappear, all everything else disappears. And like you may say like they like their children is like secure or whatever, but if they continue with their godless approach, then they will also like flee, like they'll just disappear into nothingness. And he said, like for example, he says he swallows wealth, but he must vomit it up. God will force it from his stomach. So saying that you may be rich right now, but because you're not following God, then like it will just force you to remove it. Especially if you are like, especially if you're doing it like in wicked ways. But he's just talking about the wicked and the godless people. He continued, for he oppressed and abandoned the poor and seized a house he did not build. Nothing is left for him to consume, therefore his prosperity will not last. At the height of his success, distress will come to him. The full weight of misery will crush him. So you may saying like people may be having like good wealth right now, maybe living good at the top of his powers, but distress will come to him and the full weight of misery will crush him. And that is what he's explaining to like God will, like God, if you don't believe God, if you don't love God, if you don't follow God, it will come to you eventually. Even if you're having great success, it will come to you eventually. So that's what he's trying to say right now. The possessions in this house will be removed, flowing away on the day of God's anger. This is the wicked person's lot from God, the inheritance God ordained for him. So he just explained to him like what will happen to him. And Job is responding to him, and he at first he mentions like kind of saying like be quiet, like listen to the words that's coming out of my mouth, because he's just like I think he's understanding that they don't think he's listening to what he's saying. So he's saying, why do the wicked continue to live, growing old and becoming powerful? Their homes are secure and free of fear. No rod from God strikes them. So he's talking about how the wicked just do whatever they want, and there is no chance of like fear for them, and they're just all powerful, and then God doesn't strike them because of their wickedness. And then he talks about how the wicked is living good, their children is good, and that how like they're just living it up. And then it says God reserves a person's punishment for his children. Let God repay the person himself so that he may know it. So instead of like doing it after they died, why don't we strike them when they're living so that he can understand that God is real? And it says, let his own eyes see his demise, let him drink from the Almighty's wrath. For what does he care about his family once he is dead, when the number of his months has run out? So in other words, it doesn't matter because when he dies, he dies. Like he doesn't get the full effect from what God has in store for him. He doesn't get the full effect. And then it continues. Indeed, the evil person is spared from the day of disaster, rescued from the day of wrath. The dirt on this grave is sweet to him. Everyone follows behind him, and those who go before him are without number. So how can you offer me such futile comfort? Your answers are deceptive. So he's continuing on because he's saying that these evil people are just living life, and when they leave, they have like a clean pedestal. Like they're just good. They are experienced, not experienced. They are loved by the people who leaves them, and they are hailed as his king when really they shouldn't because of the wicked practices that they do. So now this is the third series of the speeches. Now Eliphaz has spoken up this time. So now he is talking about can even a wise man be used of him? Does it delight the Almighty if you are righteous? Does he profit you perfect from your behavior? So he's trying to talk about like he's trying to attack the ideas that Job is taking, and he is talking about him personally in terms of like if you're wise, does he delight if you're righteous? He's trying to attack what he is like, what he's claiming to be, and like he is like making comics based off of strictly that. So then he's talking about like you gave no water to the thirsty and withheld fruit from the famished, while the land belonged to a powerful man and the influential man lived on it because he was influential. And I guess at the time he was giving like no water to the thirsty. And he's talking about you took collateral from your brothers for a cause, stripping off your clothes and leaving them naked. And then he said, you sent widows away empty-handed, and the strength of the fatherless was crushed. Therefore, snares surround you, sudden dread terrifies you. So he's talking about him personally right now. And if we continue, they were snatched away before their time. Their foundations were washed away by a river. Come to terms with God and be at peace. In this way, good will come to you. Receive instruction from his mouth and place his sayings in your heart. So again, saying that like you're not listening type of stuff. And if you want to be back on good terms with God, this is the things that you have to do. And they continue. The Almighty will be your gold and your finest silver. When others are humiliated and you say lift them up, God will save the humble. He will even rescue the guilty, who will be rescued by the purity of your hands. So he's talking about how even if people are not good, they'll be saved by you because of your purity and by your hands. So that's what he's trying to explain to Job, that I understand first of all, you're not perfect, and second, like you also have faults of your own. And that's why he was talking about the widows, about the thirsty, about the famished. So he was trying to make a comment at them, and he was making jabs at Job specifically. So then Job responds, like, would he prosecute me forcefully? No, he would certainly pay attention to me. So now he's talking to God specifically about how he wants to come and see him, and how like he just have like so many things he wants to say. And he said, "Yet he knows the ways I have taken. When he has tested me, I will emerge as pure gold." So he's saying when he has been tested, he has stayed strong. My feet has followed in his tracks, and I have kept to his way and not turned aside. I have departed from the commands from his lips. I have not departed from the commands from his lips. I have treasured the words from his mouth more than my daily food, so that he consumes what he's reading, and he doesn't turn away at all. Therefore, I am terrified in his presence. When I consider this, I am afraid of him. God has made my heart faint. The Almighty has terrified me. Yet I'm not destroyed by the thick darkness that covers my eyes. So he's saying that he still fears God, and he follows his commands to his heart. And that's why it just makes him more terrified, because when he's in his presence of how big and strong he is, and like because of what's been going on to him specifically, it's almost like he personally did something wrong. He doesn't understand why. I'm sorry if sometimes you don't hear me. I hope it's better, but yeah. So he was just trying to tell him, like, listen, like, I am doing the best thing I can. Like, I am learning. I'm trying to gain. I'm trying to learn. But when all these happen to me, when there are certainly more evil people out here, he doesn't understand, and that's where he's trying to get to. So let's continue. So then he continues. They drive away donkeys owned by the fatherless, take the widow's ox as collateral. They push the needy off the road. The poor of the land are forced into hiding. So right now he's talking about the wicked and the rich people who just don't follow the Lord or anything, but yet they still get everything. Like, they still get all the pleasures of the land, like earthly desires. And then he goes on about how, like, the wicked, they just do whatever they want in terms of, and then he goes into like the poor people that is like actually doing the hard work. They're just talking about how, like, they always go hungry, even though they carry sheaves, and sheaves is like working equipment. They crush olives in their presses. They tread the wine presses, but go thirsty. And just basically, like, they have the option of, like, they are doing the work, but they're not getting none of the rewards. And the only people that are getting rewards is the wicked people. So, yet God drags away the mighty by his power. When he rises up, they have no assurances of life. So he's saying that the people who are doing good in life, they are being dragged away by God. And he is like, there's no assurances of life, even though he followed his rules to deceive. So they say they are exalted for a moment, then gone. They are brought low, shriveled up like everything else. They wither like heads of grain. If this is not true, then who can prove me a liar and show that my speech is worthless? So now he is just asking, like, who can say that I am wrong? Because this is what's happening, and it's happening like all the time now. So now he's looking for a reaction. He's looking for someone to talk to him, because based off of what he is understanding, it's just like something's going on. So let's continue. Bildad replies, and he's saying the dominion and dread belong to him, the one who established harmony in his heights. And then he talks about, like, can his troop be numbered? Does his light not shine on everyone? So saying that anyone can have success. How can a human be justified before God? How can one born of woman be pure? So again, no one is pure, because, like, they're not God. So if even the moon does not shine and the stars are not pure in his sight, how much less a human who is a maggot, a son of man who is a worm? So again, no one is perfect. No one. As soon as you're born, you're born into sin. Okay, so he's trying to say, like, again, no one's perfect. No one is clean. So this fact that you're just all, like, you're clean and, like, you're emerging as gold, he just don't understand that. So then Job answered, how you have helped the powerless and delivered the arm that is weak. How you have counseled the unwise and abundantly provided insight. With whom did you speak these words, and whose breath came out of your mouth? So right now he's talking, I don't know if he's being sarcastic or not, but he is talking about, like, to me, it sounds like a comment because it says, "How have you helped the powerless and delivered the arm that is weak? How you have counseled the unwise and abundantly provide insight." So, like, these to me sounds like he is trying to. I mean, I feel like he's being sarcastic because like they've been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for a while. So, like, this does seem like a little sarcastic, but it doesn't make me seem like it because like when he like if you continue, he's talking about God and how like how strong he is, how powerful he is, and how he built and created everything. And then at the end, he ends it with, "These are but the fringes of his ways. How faint is the word we hear of him. Who can understand his mighty thunder?" So he's kind of saying like he know he's all powerful, but he just don't understand why he does the way he does. Because again, he thinks that he is. I'm not gonna say he's perfect, but he is not. He is not wicked as other people. So he's comparing himself to other people, and he's just like, I don't understand why this is happening to me. It's not like I went out my way and I was doing things that are wrong. So he's just don't understand what's going on. And that is where we left off right now. So that was Job chapter 26. So we are continuing pushing along and we are making great progress. So we will pick this up, Job chapter 27 to 33 tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a great day and I will talk to you guys later.